Hello, Bloomington. I'm Mayor Tim Busse, and this is the Council Minute for the week of January 3rd. I'm sure everyone has seen news reports of the shooting incident at Mall of America on New Year's Eve. Today, I want to provide an update and a few quick thoughts. First, I'm very happy to report that on Tuesday afternoon, Bloomington police arrested an 18-year-old man suspected in the shooting. The arrest was made in Roseville, and a gun was recovered at the scene. The suspect was transported here to Bloomington for booking of first-degree assault, and he'll be held pending charges by the Hennepin County Attorney's Office. This is the second arrest in this case. On Sunday, Bloomington police arrested a 19-year-old man for aiding and abetting first-degree assault. That arrest was also made in Roseville, and the suspect is also being held in custody pending charges by Hennepin County. Both of the arrests were made with the assistance from St. Paul Police and Ramsey County Sheriff's deputies, so thank you much to those partner agencies. On behalf of everyone, I want to thank the Bloomington police investigators and all Bloomington police officers who worked this case tirelessly since Friday evening. While I'm relieved that the victims of the shooting weren't seriously hurt and that more people weren't injured, this type of random violence in a very public place is certainly frightening. So I am very appreciative of the hard work, the investigative skills, and the obvious dedication to this community shown by the entire Bloomington Police Department. Thank you for your work. We'll now look to the Hennepin County Attorney's Office to ensure that these men are held accountable. I'm also very grateful for the outstanding response immediately after the incident by Mall of America Security and again by Bloomington Police. They did exceptional work under difficult circumstances, and it shows the benefit of the close relationship between the mall and BPD. Mall of America has a fantastic security team. The Bloomington police officers stationed at the MOA precinct are top-notch. The training and preparation they do was evident in the speed of their response after the shot was fired. Well done. Aside from my gratitude, frankly, I'm angry. It angers me that for far too many people, the default response to whatever grievance they might have with someone else is to pull out a gun and to start shooting. I just can't fathom having such a complete lack of concern, not only for the person they're shooting at, but probably more importantly, the people around them. That's true at any time, but it's especially true on New Year's Eve at Mall of America when the mall is crowded with families and people enjoying the holiday. It is unacceptable, and we need to make it stop. Finally, I know this was a traumatizing incident for some people, whether employees at the mall or guests or folks who regularly go to MOA. We've all seen way too many terrifying examples of this type of incident becoming an awful tragedy. Contemplating it is truly frightening. But I want to stress that Mall of America is a safe place. 40 million people visit the mall each year, and this type of violent event is rare. It's not unheard of, but it is exceedingly rare. The last shooting at MOA was in 1993, almost 30 years ago. In addition, this wasn't a random or indiscriminate incident. The shooter and the victim have a past relationship. They know each other. The bottom line is that I have full and complete confidence in Mall of America Security and in Bloomington Police to keep MOA and Bloomington safe. The City Council met for the first time in 2022 on Monday night and received an update on the work of the Sick and Safe Leave Task Force that was appointed last year. Some quick background here. Last February, the City Council asked staff to explore the development of an earned sick and safe leave ordinance. This type of ordinance would require employers to provide some amount of sick and safe leave to employees. There's currently no such requirement in state law. And over the past 2 years, we've certainly seen the need for this type of leave, whether it's to take care of ourselves, our kids, or our parents. We know that when leave isn't available, workers are more likely to go to work when they or their family members are sick, and that's a burden and a risk for everyone. The task force was appointed back in June. It included Bloomington business owners and managers, the Chamber of Commerce, nonprofits, organized labor, and engaged residents. They gathered information, got input from stakeholders, and reviewed existing ordinances from other Minnesota cities. In addition, Bloomington's Community Outreach and Engagement Division did their typical outstanding work through surveys of businesses, affected employees, and the public. Ultimately, the task force brought back a proposed ordinance that promotes and protects the well-being of the Bloomington workforce and Bloomington residents. It supports the City Council's strategic priority of equity and inclusion, and it balances the unique needs and circumstances of Bloomington employers with a recognition that Bloomington is part of a regional labor and service market. The proposed ordinance would allow employees to accrue a minimum of 1 hour of sick and safe time for every 30 hours worked, up to a maximum of 48 hours in a calendar year. In businesses with more than 5 employees, it would be paid time off, and in businesses with 5 or less employees, it would be unpaid time off. Now, this was the first time the council had seen the proposed ordinance, and there was a lot of questions, and there was a long discussion. My sense is that discussion is far from over. We'll take this up again in February and March, so stay tuned for your chance to voice your opinion on earned sick and safe leave. Bloomington City Code requires each of our city commissions to provide an annual report and work plan that the City Council reviews and approves. We saw the first of those work plans on Monday night as the Planning Commission presented their proposed work plan for 2022. Like most of our commissions, the Planning Commission and the city planning staff have a lot going on. As you'd expect, the big projects they work on don't necessarily align with the calendar year, so many of the projects on the 2022 work plan were actually started in 2021. Some of those carryover projects include an update to the city's sign ordinance, updating standards for accessory dwelling units, an analysis of parking standards for multi-unit residential buildings, a look at residential livability standards, and food trucks, a topic that has actually been on hold since March of 2020. Proposed new projects include a study on how to improve the 98th Street and 35W corridor, a look at single-room occupancy standards, and creating a new transitional industrial zoning district as part of the Lyndale Avenue retrofit. In addition, the Council expressed strong support for continued and expanded work on our neighborhood commercial nodes and a comprehensive transportation plan and alternative transportation plan to help slow down traffic and to make our streets safer for pedestrians and bicyclists, especially around our parks, around our schools, and in our neighborhoods. As I said, our Planning Commission and our planning staff have a lot on their plate. I want to thank them for the great work they do on behalf of the residents of Bloomington. And finally today, a mayor's shout out to our 3 council members who were officially sworn in on Monday night. Congratulations to Lona D'Alessandro, the newest member of the Bloomington City Council, and to Patrick Martin and Nathan Coulter, who were sworn in for their second terms. That will do it for this week's Council Minute. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, stay safe, Bloomington.